Without a doubt, one of the most deadly extinction-level events in history was the Chernobyl disaster. Among other prevalent threats like World War III, nuclear holocaust, population collapse, or even asteroids, Chernobyl was a man-made error with ramifications like no other disaster in human history. This is the historical summary on the Chernobyl disaster. Before Chernobyl, the world had only been familiar with the effects of radiation from the Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear bombs that ended World War II. This would change decades later, and not for the better. Today, Chernobyl resides in the Kyiv Oblast region in Ukraine, but back in 1986, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. Morning of April 26, 1986, at 1:23 a.m., the Chernobyl plant conducted a test at reactor number 4. Unexpectedly, a huge explosion quickly followed by at least one more, blew the 1,000-ton roof right off the reactor and shot a fireball high into the night sky. A blackout roils the plant as the air fills with dust and graphite chunks, and radiation begins spewing out. The ionizing radiation levels in the worst-hit areas of the reactor building have been estimated to more than 20,000 roentgens per hour. That's 40 times worse than the bombs dropped on Japan. A massive undertaking in the attempts to rectify the situation was underway. This started with establishing an exclusion zone that would see to evacuate all residences with a 40-kilometer radius. This also included the city of Pripyat, which at the time had approximately 50,000 people. The winds, however, carried the radioactive material across the continent, affecting more than 40% of Europe's population. The Soviets needed to act fast to contain the fallout that would ensue from this disaster. Once an exclusion zone was set, liquidation teams were sent in to put out the fire, clean radioactive debris, prevent further meltdown setback, and even put down pets left behind by their owners. There was a lot of secrecy and cover-ups during this ordeal. The USSR did not want to be humiliated by this mistake. The KGB was actively used to censor, jail, and even kill those who spoke up about who and what was responsible. The US helped build a protective concrete shelter, or sarcophagus, to cover the destroyed reactor to prevent further contamination. This initial shelter was never intended to serve as a permanent fix for the highly radioactive material, which is why an even larger containment structure was put on top of the sarcophagus to really slow down the deterioration of the containment. Chernobyl is still a problem to this day. The radioactive atoms are still continuing to fire off like 1 trillion bullets at a time, many of which will not stop firing for more than 50,000 years. Chernobyl is worth remembering as it was the action of a few that affected millions. Make sure to leave a like, turn on notifications, and subscribe for more history.